Alrighty. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another Noble Legacy stream today. My name is Scott. I'm a technical artist with Studio 369, and today we're going to be taking a look once again at the beginning section of the game. We've made a couple of updates this time to include some new kind of camera work between interactions between different characters and some returning characters as well as just some general polish and also some updates to certain quest lines in there to make them a bit more smooth and make a bit more sense to you as a beginning new player. So we want to take a look through all of those new sections, and if there's time and we get through them quickly, I might go ahead and we do a little bit of a free build towards the end there. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this time we don't have to wait around. I already got the build up and running. So let me go ahead and excuse me, create my character quickly here. So go ahead and jump back over. So I'm just go ahead, create my character, and we'll jump right back in to Greenwood here. So for many of you have already seen, let me see if I can pull it up here. So we've made a couple of announcements as well. So one of the things is that our Steam page is up and live. Let's see if I can find it here quick. Where are you at? Steam. Oh, my game correct. Go ahead and restart that quick. I think I alt tabbed out of it at a bad time, but let me go ahead and at least pull up our Steam page for you here. So again, we're on live on Steam now. So go ahead and you can wishlist. Our game is currently available. To be able to wishlist on there, we have all of the details on there, you know, all the goodies, system requirements, what's going to be in there, any disclosures, and our plans for it in early access is all available on our Steam page. So go ahead and give that a look. We greatly appreciate it. It helps us out with getting it seen by more people. So please wishlist it. We greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. So anyway, when we go back into the game here and restart it there, because I alt tabbed out at a bad time and it might have broke something, but that's my mistake. So let me go ahead and fire it back up here. And just give it 1 second. I think this should boot up pretty quickly this time. Yep, that was a pretty quick boot. All right, so we'll just go back and start fresh again. So go ahead and type in a character again there, and then we'll go right back into Greenwood Farm. So I'll keep a little bit quiet again so you can watch that intro cinematic one more time at the beginning there, and then we'll kind of just continue onward from there. So you'll notice many of these new cutscenes and other changes fairly early on, and you'll see just a little bit of a deviation between our tutorial that we've had in the beginning to what is now. So I'm going to be quiet here, have my camera. All right, so let's go ahead and head down to the old road. So one of the new people that we'll be talking into fairly quickly is a bloke named Thomas, and we will get to him fairly early on within here, but it's going to start very similar with talking to Alma and then progressing on to the normal progression of, cutting down a tree and the other early beginning steps like that. So we're going to head over to Alma, which she's over there. I'm just kind of used to her being over there. So let's go ahead and see what's up.
This place has everything.
Probably help if you can hear the things with me unmuting it there. So let me go ahead and do that for you. My bad.
And game for hunting. Why do these people struggle so?
These people are but poor farmers. They need a firm hand to guide them. All best done from Green Warden, my lord. Let us continue.
So here's Thomas. Man, he's gonna be one of our first new dialogues that you'll see here. To kind of help give a little bit more of a grounded feel, and a bit more, I guess, realism, you could say.
My lord, your presence honors us. How can I be of assistance?
Good day, man. This place seems to lack the proper amount of food. Do you not have someone foraging?
We lost our last forager to the winter. Damn shame. Been surviving on scraps since then we have. I am trying to make more shelter, but swinging an axe all day almost put me out of commission.
I have a proposition for you. My uncle and I will continue the logging in your stead if you agree to turn your attention to foraging.
My lord, that would be a great exchange, and easier on the old back now. I shall do as you wish.
And all right, so he gives us a little bit of realism. He's hurt his back, so let's have him do the foraging job, and we'll chop down some trees instead, which will lead us to how to learn how to chop down trees. But it also helpfully brings up this tooltip here of explaining just what villagers can do to accomplish tasks, and that's something you're going to be doing a lot in this game, is assigning people to do work based on specific buildings, and it teaches that not all villagers can do certain jobs. So let's continue here.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
So we're assigning Thomas as a forager, which is a starting up building here. So we'll go ahead and assign him to a forger.
Consider it done.
Did you just offer these peasants our labour?
We need to expand this settlement in order to attract more good folk to work this land. We should start by cutting down some trees.
God help me.
And so that's one of the first new bits of dialogue as well between you and Edward as well. So go ahead, as usual, head over to the cart.
At least this sorry excuse for a village has an axe to spare.
Get the axe.
Show a bit of grace, please. Let's gather enough lumber to make a small hut.
It would head on over to the tree here and cut it down as per usual. Go ahead and kind of speed through and chop down at the old stump here. So we also noticed that we've updated the amount of lumber you need to get. It's gone from 10 to 20. Just figured having a little bit more at the beginning is a fair bit more helpful for what we're asking you to build. So that way it's, we found through some feedback and just some kind of testing of our own that, you'd have enough lumber to maybe do the first part or only a chunk of it. And then kind of midway through, you'd have to go chop down another tree. So it's just little things like that that just add a quality of life to the player. Just these little annoyances that we don't want to lead you down a wrong path right at the start.
Great display of strength, my lord. Surely you have enough lumber now.
I suppose a woodcutter will be needed somewhere close to the forest.
We'll just go ahead and finish off that tree, so we'll have a couple of extra pieces. And then there's Thomas doing the foraging in the bushes there. So now we're going to head over to the building plot as usual and build our woodcutters area, which again will trigger this pop-up teaching you all about building using the hammer, talking about key parts and certain things that require maintenance, i.e. needing certain specific pieces in order to complete the building. Say for woodcutters area, you need both a woodcutter's bench and a log pile. So let's continue on. I'm going to go ahead, open up our build menu, go to the top here, and it's going to show you all the different categories that we have available, starting under the foundations with our wood foundation, which you'll be using pretty much all the time. So let's go ahead and put that down, press 1 to equip the hammer, and then hold E to build the wood foundation. I'm going to go ahead and make stairs. So normally, again, you can go under all items, structural, and then find the stairs there, but I'm going to use the shortcut, which is, these are kind of your most commonly built items, which is a wall, foundation, stairs, and roof. I'm going to click stairs, place it right there, and build. So there's 2 different ways you can get to quicker stuff like that. And then we're going to go ahead and build our 3 walls as per the instructions. And then we're going to build the gabled roof, which again, we're going to use our kind of shortcut menu there to build our thatch gable. There is a wood version as well if you like that more aesthetically. And now we place the woodcutter's bench and the log pile, I believe. So again, green arrow means which way that the AI is going to interact with the object. So make sure that's always pointed in a way that's accessible. I want to point that into the wall. And then for the log pile, we're going to do the same, flip it around, make sure that the arrow is pointed towards it that can be accessed, and that should be it.
Our settlement will need more lumber and planks. One of these villagers should be able to take over from here.
That stout lad of
Hey
theirs
Brutus,
looks like he has some
see you're a first time chatter.
Make a
Hello,
good
how are you? I'm
woodcutter.
doing good. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we'll go ahead and open up our building here, select our woodcutter building, and then we're going to assign Fred to be our lumberjack here.
Mushrooms.
You also notice that there's
If I have to eat
2
another
slots for
mushroom, I'll be
lumberjack
sick.
and a
We should
sawyer
sell some of these
to
wretched
basically
things
be
to
able to
whoever is
cut those
stupid enough to buy them.
cut the
Good idea, Uncle.
lumber
We'll
into
further
planks,
invest in this little
which we
building.
need to refine a little
Yes,
bit of them
something of the
ourselves. So
sort.
let's see if we have
We'll need
enough with
planks
our
from the woodcutter
remaining
to build
lumber.
proper storage for a
We also added in a handsaw here that's more period accurate. Do good things. Glad to hear that. Welcome, welcome. So we added in a handsaw in here. It's part of the animation that's a little bit more period accurate there versus just having nothing before. So there we go. There is our 20 planks. And now we're going to go over to our second building spot over here. While it's already, the dynamic weather has changed to raining and kind of a thunderstorm here. So, oh boy. Now we're going to build 2 foundations to build our storehouse here. So I like doing it kind of a front to back. It looks like we're going to need to pick up some more lumber here. We'll at least place this down and start getting this built here. But we're going to be needing a little bit more lumber here, most likely. Yep. So let's go ahead and cut down, let's say about 2 to 3 more trees. And that way that should be good enough for all of us to be able to have enough lumber to continue building the rest of the storehouse and for the other buildings for a bit of time. So you can cut down basically any large tree that you see in the area. Usually needs to be a fairly thick, kind of around this size. You can do some slightly thinner ones, but you'll kind of get a prompt of whether or not you can or cannot chop it. Or, you know, just over time, if you have somebody cutting the trees for you, you shouldn't have to worry about it. You just go over to your long pile, grab some lumber, and use it where you need to. Now, have the process, quote unquote, automated for you, as you would in other, say, building games that are out there. You know, you start the process of learning how it works, doing it yourself, to then having others, whether that be people or machines, doing it for you. So, timber. Then we're going to go ahead and chop the rest of this. But if you are a new time here, Brutus, we do have our Discord channel linked in below any of our live streaming websites, Twitch included. And you can find on there the link there where we're always posting new updates. We've also been giving away a couple of keys for people to kind of test and play the game early. and we appreciate the feedback a lot. It helps us make a better product for you in the end, and it helps us, just catch some things that, with our, smaller size dev team that we might. I mean, you're already in the Discord. Fantastic. Thank you for being there and being a participant in there. It greatly helps us
Well
out
done,
a
my
lot.
lord.
So now we're going to need to put down a merchant's ledger. So I always like building upstairs to whatever buildings I'm in. I know it's not required here, but it's just something I do. Was given the keys a couple days ago. Looking forward to playing the game now and the next day off. Fantastic. Sounds great. Thank you for being able to watch the stream on one of your days on work then. Alright, so now we're going to have both the ledger and then the marketplace storage put in the back.
It looks alright.
But
We might need to add some more structure to consider it complete.
as Edward said, we're going to need to add a little bit more structure. So it's usually just a couple more walls and then a roof as well. And we might need to add another wall or two since we do kind of a exposed front. So we shall see. Actually leaving for work in about 5 minutes. Night shifter. I see. Yeah, I had a friend who also, I think he still probably does. I haven't talked to him in a while. He was also a night shifter, worked as a security post for a company or a place that doesn't see any activity really. So he just always brought his laptop with him and played. And so he always said that he was the professional gamer. That's what he was paid for at night. But totally understand. So go ahead and build this wall here, and that should be enough. Cool. And then this will open up another pop-up menu here talking about visitors. So we talked about it before. You want people to visit into your village, especially when you offer items for trade, such as saying what you'll see in the tutorial, selling mushrooms and selling fish. And all this is to generate some gold coins, which you're going to need to build some specific items, one of which are beds. Excuse me, one of which are beds and other useful pieces that will help your village prosper. So it's talking about visitors will have various intentions, and you can basically go up to visitors and basically click on them, or I believe you can also view it from the visitors menu by pressing K, which I'll show in a sec. Once we start having some villagers in here, and it'll show what they want to do. So someone will say like, oh, I really wanted to drink at the tavern, but there's no tavern that exists, so that failed. And so you can see all these different opportunities for which you could have made money or made your village beneficial in a different way to people coming in. So, but some visitors are going to have some ulterior motives, and we'll bump into that later between like thieves and bandits of the like. So let's head over to the mushrooms over here. So we need to gather some stuff for our marketplace in order to be able to sell, because right now there's currently nothing in there. So let's go ahead and gather some mushrooms here. We'll just kind of gather the whole patch, and this is going to help again get us some gold, and then be able to use that gold to build other items, and then hopefully being kind of a sustaining loop, especially when we have other people such as Thomas foraging for us.
Those look delectable, my liege.
Just go ahead and grab a couple more here. Can't be too many. All right. And now we're going to head over back to the market storage. And with that, we'll be able to put the mushrooms in there to able to be sold. And then there's Fred doing the lumbering for us. Very good. Go ahead to our storehouse, hit E, and then put the mushrooms inside there to be sold. But we need a place to be able to sell it from, kind of a stall or a storefront to be able to do that. So we'll go ahead and build a farm market because we are selling food items currently, and we need more lumbers, or excuse me, we need more planks from lumber. So let's go ahead. We have a little bit of extra trees that we've cut earlier, so we have some extra wood. Let's go ahead and refine it at the lumber crafting station. Go ahead and build, let's say like 25 planks here. All right. Excuse me, Edward. Now we're going to head over to the market stall. So I like to build it kind of somewhere along the main road here into town, something that people are going to see as they kind of pass by. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of build it right around here.
The first villager we spoke to seemed jovial enough. Perhaps you should run the
So
market.
now we can go up to it. We need to be able to mark certain items for sale here. So we have food items and we have resource items here. Currently, we only have food items. And you can see that there's a couple of variety between berries, mushrooms, fish, eggs, and fruit. But we need to mark what we have for sale. So currently, we only have mushrooms in there. So we need to click the bag next to it to mark it as available for sale. And there we go. So, and now we need somebody to work the market in order to be able to facilitate the trade. So then we're going to open up our buildings, go to our storehouse that we built, and then we're going to put Alma, who was the first person we talked to, as
Now that
the
we have
merchant.
goods for sale, visitors will start to visit the town and spend gold here.
So, as Edward said, people are going to now be coming into the village,
Where are these
which will
visitors
be
coming from?
kind of in the...
Surrounding country, my lord. Travellers, poor farmers, and so on. Visiting the nearest town to trade their mouldy potatoes for whatever shiny things we're willing to sell. God willing, they'll bring some gold with them to this place so we can trade them for it.
Yeah, so we're going to have these visitors come in. And again, you can see visitors by pressing K going to visitors. So we have Nicholas, Ida, and Edward here. But we can see that their intentions are to buy mushrooms, obviously a little bit forced for the tutorial, but you'll see other things pop up down here, like to say, want to go to the tavern or buy some
I was out
fish or
walking this
whatever
morning
it may
and
be.
noticed a small lake over yonder. The fish were practically leaping out of the water. If we had a small jetty near the lake, we could easily have some lovely fish for dinner. I noticed some of our visitors dropping by the market stall asking for fish. Many are leaving disappointed. If we are able to sell fish, we can earn more gold and entice more visitors to our settlement.
Yep, so Edward's talking about kind of a feedback loop here. Have fish to sell fish, to be able to get gold, to spend gold, to be able to then get more people we can assign to automate the work to then get more gold, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and build the jetty out on the lake here. So again, this is the first structure that you'll see that's going to cost gold to make, cost 20 gold. So we need to be able to, for certain items like that. I think a bed is also one, but we might not have access to that yet. But again, you can always look at the bottom right of what something is going to cost, but I think this is the first one that costs gold. The fishing rack costs gold as well. So we'll go ahead and build the jetty out on the lake here, and then we're going to, I like to build a wood foundation if Thomas would get out of the freaking way. Thank you. Build our wood foundation there, and that way we kind of have a place to get up to our jetty. Do that, and because we're going to want other AI to access it, I'm going to build stairs as well, just so that they have something to walk up to with their pathfinding. And then we're going to build the jetty. It's going to say we're not quite done there, and then that's going to go into a second part here. Is that it says complete the fishery, view maintenance requirements in the buildings menu. Again, by hitting K, going over to buildings and going over to a fishery, we'll see that there's kind of this caution sign here, which means that it's disabled and it's not ready to be used. And we can see what we need as the minimum requirements, which are basically certain strategic pieces that you need. So such as for the storehouse, if I go back to there, the storehouse needs both the market desk or the ledger and the market storage in order to fully complete it, along with these other structural requirements, which usually means other pieces in the structural category that will contribute towards the score. And you can see under on the page here that walls count as 1, foundations count as 10, wooden stairs don't do as anything, but these parts that contribute to the overall structural score. So it's usually, in layman's terms, you need a larger building to facilitate the building to have it go up to a higher tier. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and build out the fishing rack here with our last 5 planks of wood conveniently and place it right about here.
Now to see if this lake can deliver anything edible.
And now we're going to teach you how to fish, it's really simple, but we've also updated this as well, which has a nice little animation for when we fish and catch the fish. So we have to go ahead and cast. We now have a fishing rod, which is by pressing 3 on the keyboard here. And we can go ahead and see little fish animation. Woo. Just animated pretty nicely. Then go ahead and catch the fish. And that'll be the first one of many to come. Go ahead and capture just a couple more fish here. So we have a little bit of time to kind of just wait, and I'll take a look at how we're doing in all the other stream platforms here, which again, we are live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube all at the same time, so you can catch us in any of those platforms, whatever is most convenient to you. All of them should be the same. And, you know, again, we appreciate you for watching us and supporting Noble Legacy. It's truly something that the team has worked really hard on, and something that a lot of them are very passionate about. And it's something that, you know, we look forward to getting in your hands as soon as possible. So,
Well,
yeah, with all that,
we
so
have
we
a
got...
fishery, but I have better things to do with my time than stand around with a line and a net all day. We should see if we can convince one of these poor souls to move to our village and help catch fish.
We have no more housing for another villager. We'll need to build another house.
You know best, my lord. Perhaps we can use an existing schematic for this hut. You know how I hate to dawdle with the minutiae.
So again, we're talking about more optimization here, and where again, we can assign anybody to do anything. So we have somebody foraging for berries, so we don't have to do that ourselves. We have somebody that is currently cutting down trees, that's gathering lumber, so we don't have to worry about it. And again, with fishing, we can assign somebody to the fishery who will fish for us, and then allow us to just focus our time on other parts that will be more beneficial, say as automating other areas or building up specific parts of our kingdom, or soon to be kingdom, because right now it's a little small. So let's go ahead and capture just a couple more fish here, just because I know we have a requirement later on that is going to be needing a couple more fish, just to kind of speed it along and show you some of the later parts that we've also been working on here. So let's go ahead and catch a couple of more fish here. I think that'll be about 10. Yep, 10. So let's go ahead and put our fishing rod away and then head over there. So now, one of the things that you also notice is that you have people, if you want people to work in your village, they have to live there, which means they need to have a place to live there. So we need to have homes built for them as well. They don't have to be super complicated. They can be really simple, but they need to be livable places. So we're going to go ahead, and what I think I can do here, so these are some sample buildings that are already placed in here. I think I can just copy the entire building, the structure. And then I'm going to save this as a prefab. I'm going to call it my peasant home, and then I'm going to put today's date, which is the 25th. Yep, 25th. So 3/25/25. This will make sense in a second. I'm going to put it as a pot icon. It's going to help. I have some other prefabs saved from previous playthroughs, so it's going to help me remember to have it stand out. So with that, we can go ahead and open up our buildings here, and then in the top left, you'll see a prefabs tab. Go ahead and turn down the weather for you just a little bit slightly. And then we click on prefab, click on housing, and we can go to this pot here. We can see my peasant home 32525 is what I called it. And we can see what exactly this structure is going to take to build, which is 42 lumber and 19 planks. So we'll go ahead and we'll try to place it here, but you'll see that there is, we're not going to have enough resources to build it. So let's go ahead and grab some other wood. Hopefully that there's a couple in our log pile that our lumberjack has been working on here. There we go. Go ahead and basically grab nearly all of it. Actually, I'm just going to grab all of it, which you can do by right clicking. And then we are going to need some more lumber. So we go ahead and cut this up. And then we might have to cut down an additional tree or two. But again, with all that wood that we just saved, all that time we just saved by somebody else cutting the wood, very important to have automated tasks. So, all right, I think that's enough of that. So what exactly did I need again? It's, oh, perfect amount. So now we have this prefab, and we can go ahead and kind of place it anywhere we'd like. So I'm going to try and place it somewhere around, somewhere that's like not right in the middle, but also a little bit of space. I think somewhere about here should be good. Let's kind of cheat in. Let's do it like this. All right. So now we're going to need our hammer and then start building up this house here. So again, we placed the prefab, but we have to build out all the pieces. So we're going to go ahead and craft each one. And then because it is a house, we're going to need to build a bed inside of it in order to have it fully count. Because a bed is one of the required pieces to label a structure a home. Let's go ahead and finish this up here. So go ahead and build all these fences. Hop over here, build the foundation. So with our building system, it is quite flexible in terms of how you want to build a home. You can think of it as just kind of a bunch of Lego pieces that you can put together and they will snap together. And it's pretty lenient on how you want to build things. There's not a whole lot of crazy structural requirements of, you can build it as realistic as you like, or you can kind of, especially like me who struggles with dealing with kind of unorthodox house shapes, you can make it as sketch as you want in some ways here. So let's go ahead and build out the last bit of this roof here, including the thatch gables and the kind of trim pieces along the end for a little bit of, decoration. And there should be one last trim piece. All right. And then go inside here by opening the door. So now, again, we'll go open the buildings tab and we'll see that in order to maintenance a house, it needs to have a bed in there, a bed and a door. So this isn't done yet. So we're going to go ahead and go back to our build tab. I believe it's under furniture. Yep. And we perfect amount of planks. So again, beds cost gold. So go ahead and place it right here. So now it's a house. We might need some more structural requirements. It looks like that's kind of what that blue meter is. Let me see if individual part. I wonder if it should finish it there with the door. Let me see if it's being a little finicky. Do we have any lumber? Okay, we do have a little bit of leftover lumber too going there. And we can see all the other visitors coming into our village. Let's go ahead and just, I think one thing of 5 should be enough for the door. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, we're always trying to find bugs here. So, and that's where, for those of you who have keys early, this will greatly help us find all these bugs so that we can fix it on our end, so we can have a better product for you in the end. So now we're talking about recruitment. So we have people visiting the village, but we want to have people permanently stay in the village. And it's going to be talking about recruitment. So basically people to live there permanently. And villagers can perform jobs, which will help you automate certain processes and help basically fill in the gaps within your kingdom. Different villagers have different skills and allow jobs that they can do, say such as Thomas cannot be a lumberjack because of his back, but Fred can. And higher quality recruits will have demands to be able to join your village, such as required structures or required pieces within structures that they live in, which we'll have an example of later down the road with Harold and when we're building the tavern. So let's go ahead and continue on with here.
Let us see if she is skilled enough to catch.
We're going to have Alice here, who's going to be a fisher and forager who has a monthly upkeep, so she needs at least one berry, very efficient, per month to be able to sustain her. And there will be other requirements again for more higher quality recruits. Say if you want to have like a guard for your village, you're going to need to pay them to guard, to risk their life. So they might have an additional gold monthly upkeep as well in order to maintain them and recruit them into your village. So most villagers, here it is, a new tab for upkeep. As I was already talking about all this. So most villagers require a monthly upkeep payment to keep working. If you don't have the resources to pay them, they'll stop working. And all villager and building upkeep payments will be taken out automatically at the end of each month. If any upkeep is not fulfilled, you can manually pay it at any point. So there you go.
And you'll be happy to know she has reasonable demands for her employment.
Demands? These peasants are getting more troublesome by the day.
Your empathy knows no bounds, dear uncle.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and assign Alice to Fisher. And let Alice, we need to also have Alice live in a home. So we'll go ahead and put him in quarters. And there we go. So now we need to add some more fish to the market storage. I might have added the fish in too early. I wonder if... Oh, I just didn't even put him in there yet. Okay, we're good. Why is my market labeled Ho? I did not call it that. Interesting. That might be another bug there. I wonder if it cut out the end of house and just left Ho. That's pretty funny if it did. All right, so if we go ahead and either way, we're going to mark our fish for sale. So we'll go ahead and mark that there.
Shall we go talk to him and see what has him troubled?
So now we need to go talk to Fred about some issues that he's dealing with here and issues that are going to be I'm going to be dealing with. So let's go ahead and talk to him.
My lord, thank goodness you're here. I saw a strange man skulking around the woods. I think I've seen him before. We've had bandits stealing from us for months, sir, and we usually barricade ourselves in the house when they come. I would fight, but we have no weapons.
Leave it to us.
So now we're going to be introduced to combat. So we now have been given a short sword to fight with. So we go ahead and press 6. We're going to join Edward in a second, who is already off to the races to fight. So combat is fairly simple in here, and where it's kind of if you've ever played kind of like an MMO, it's kind of a tab target. So we need to first equip a weapon, which is, again, was by pressing 6. And then you can also have villagers fulfill guardsmen or hunter jobs to be able to defend your village, which is a little bit later on, but can basically help you form a private militia to hopefully a private army to be able to defend your lands. And when you're near an enemy, you can target them by pressing tab targeting, and then you can also clear the target by pressing the same button, and then left attack will attack the enemy, but make sure you're within range. And then we do have a parry system to be able to, block an enemy, or you can also use it to feint and to go for an opening. I personally like to play more of a footsies kind of style, and where it's like I like to attack when I'm in range and then kind of bounce out when I'm not. I also have Edward take a little bit of the focus here, so I did take a hit there. You do have health, so you have to be careful. And there we go. He got distracted, and Edward took the hit, or did the finishing blow. We'll go ahead and get rid of this bloke here, and now let's go over to Fred again and tell him the good news that the thief is dead. Sorry for everybody. Oh, don't cut at me.
With deepest sincerity, thank you, my lord. It feels like ages since there was a soul to defend us around these lands.
Safety is paramount. We must all remain diligent and prepare for any retribution these aggressors might seek.
A place to relax and drink some ale would really
Alright, we need to add a little bit of an animation here, so we'll have a little bit of the Shining moment here, look to camera. So now, again, a little bit of foreshadowing that I said earlier. We need to now deal with, well, I'm going to build this. This is going to bother me if I don't have this finished. Which also means there's going to be one on the other side. So I'll go ahead and finish these pieces off. But a little bit of foreshadowing that I said earlier, we now are going to have Inspect Harold in the recruitment tab, which is going to be one of our first higher quality recruits that we can have into the village. So we'll go ahead and see his requirement.
It is a poultry pen. I don't know why I kept it. I'd part with it for 10 gold. You can put it in the house we just built to make it a bit more pleasant for our tavern keepers.
So Harold is going to have one of the first requirements. So besides just needing a home, he needs a wall torch in his home, which is worth it because he's a tavern keeper and a server. So let's go ahead and go to our home that we just built, which is going to be right over here. And then I think we hopefully have the materials for it. So we go to all lights, which is under the decoration, and we just have enough planks. So we'll go ahead and build it right there, which should fulfill the requirement there. And now we're going to go ahead and recruit Harold. So go ahead and press K, go back to our visitors, recruits, and then see now it's blue, so it's now fulfilled, and we're going to hit accept. And now Harold should be coming in, and we need to go talk to him and see what is up with him.
Thank you for giving me a place here, my lord. I swear I won't disappoint you.
Good man.
Harold's very tall. All right, so now we need to build our tavern. So, and I know a good spot for it. We're going to do it right at the... Well, actually, let me show you the tactical camera, which I get by pressing P. Go all the way down here. And so we have a nice empty plot over here for a tavern. Pretty ideal. So I think that's where we're going to build it. And you can use this to kind of get an idea of your overall layout of your kingdom as well. So we can see we have our forager building over there, the woodcutter we built earlier, the home we just built, and then our other houses that are also within the area. So pretty cool layout. So you can use this as a way to kind of plan how you want the layout of your village to go. So very handy tool. Then press P to go back. But we're going to need some wood, so let's see if Fred has added any more wood in there. He's added a little bit. All right, that's certainly going to help, but we're going to need a fair bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down some trees as well. So it always helps to have maybe have a couple of woodcutter stations, because you can assign multiple people to it. We can assign one more to our woodcutters if we had another logger, which we don't right now. So we'll go ahead and do this ourselves, since we're pretty quick at doing this. We can also see down at the bottom all these notifications of people wanting to buy something but cannot. So again, we're talking about the needs of the visitors coming in there, or the wants, I guess, rather, and having them fulfilled, so that we're basically missing out on some potential gold earning. So we're going to go ahead and cut down this tree. And we'll go ahead and continue gathering some more lumber here. So I'm going to, kind of in the past with me in building the taverns, I've always made them a little bit overly complicated, especially when during this room we showed off the sandbox mode. So I'm going to make it just a little bit simpler here. I'm going to basically go for the minimum. Very simple. It might be just a little cramped inside, but I think it'll be all the more worth it in the end, both for my resources and just visually it'll probably look a lot better. Go ahead and chop down this tree.
Not much happens around here, but that's part of the
Not fall in the path of it. There you go. And we'll go ahead and continue chopping the rest of it here. So we'll see if this is enough wood right now after this, because we're also going to need to chop this up into some planks because of the certain required pieces inside of the tavern that we're going to need, such as tables and chairs, you know, for people to sit at and have a drink or a warm meal. So let's head over to the empty slot that we talked about earlier, which was right at the end over here. A nice wide slot of land. And we're going to go ahead into our wooden foundations and build 3 of them. So we're going to build one here, one there, one there. Go ahead and start hammering these in. And one more over here on the left. I think the kind of idea is, as well with it being here, is that the main road kind of leads through the center of town here, and the first thing that you'll see at the very end is a kind of a nice place for a warm meal. So it just seems it's like all roads lead to home, kind of an idea. So all right, so we have our basic layout here. So I'm going to say let's have the actual tavern parts of it over here. So we're going to see we have some more utility pieces in the services tab, which we have a stew pot, which is new from previous times, which is going to be used to make stews and soups. And then our rustic bar, which is returning in there. So we're going to need some planks, and both of these cost a substantial amount of gold, as you can see, 150 gold respectively for the two. So you got to make sure that you're always selling here, otherwise you're not going to be getting very far. So let's head back over to our woodcutter station, and we're going to go ahead and cut up some more planks. So I think we cut down a fair bit of wood here, so I'm gonna make like 30 planks. I think that should be enough for now. If not, then we'll come back here and cut up some more, because we're also going to need to cut up some chairs and benches as well. So let's head over here, and then we're going to go ahead and place these down. So let's go ahead and let's put the bar kind of around here. I think it's this way. Oh shoot, I put it backwards. You know, we'll make this work for right now. And then put the stew pot here. And now we need to place some dining table. So we'll go ahead to furniture. We're going to place our first table and then 2 benches. Oh, did I just nail it? I think I did nail it for planks, and then we'll hopefully just use the lumber to build the rest of the structural pieces that we need. So let's go ahead and place a couple of windows here. And then place some walls. We're going to need a doorway to be able to get in here. So let's put it right there. And then build our thatch roof. So very simple layout, but should work well enough for what we're trying to do here for our tavern. Might just be a little tight, and you might want to expand upon that in the future. So let's go ahead and build out all of these structural pieces. Have a nice enclosed space. So again, have to be a little patient here. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will be your kingdom, but relatively speaking, you can build these buildings pretty fast. Now we just got to build the last 3 pieces of our roof, and I believe that will fulfill the requirements for the tavern. If not, we'll look again and see if we need to add a little bit more. There we go. Let's go ahead and put this. I'm going to do a quick save, just to be safe. And now we need to assign Harold to our tavern here. So go ahead and go to our buildings, go to our tavern, and have him as our tavern.
Now that the tavern is done, I'd love to try my hand at a special recipe I've been preparing.
The happier the visitors are when they come into town, the more gold they'll spend.
Yep. It all feeds into one another, but it's a little bit dark in here. So let's see if I can add some torches in here, and I'm going to need some more planks. So let's go ahead and head back over to our woodcutting station. I believe I still have I have 2. That should be enough to be able to build a like a torch or two. All these new people coming into the village. And let's go ahead over to our lumber crafting. All right.
A good day, is it? At least the quiet is nice, but I could use some excitement from time to time.
So let's go ahead and place torch right by the door here on either side. There we go. Sounds at least a little bit more lit. Move out of the way, Edward.
How's it going?
So we need to entertain our guests in the tavern here. So we need mushrooms for this mushroom stew crafting. So let's go ahead and see if there's any mushrooms that were foraged from our forager building, which I believe is just right over here. I don't think there'd be any in here. No, just some berries currently. Oh, is there any mushrooms in here? No, just more berries. I don't think there's anything on the outside. Oh, people are being entertained in the tavern, and I believe that's all that there is in there. So let's go ahead and go back to the mushroom area and be able to gather a couple more mushrooms. I kind of want to test out making this mushroom stew. So we have another patch of mushrooms here, and let's go ahead and harvest these. Just go ahead, we'll harvest the whole bunch. Shouldn't take very long. Should give us about like 14 or so. 14, 15. It's not a safe sound. A little bit loud, but you know what's going off. Alright, 13 mushrooms. Alright. And now let's head over back to our tavern here and see if we can make some mushroom stew. So, entertain guests in your tavern. We've done 4 out of 10, so alright, we're getting there. See if making some stew helps craft. Uh-oh. Okay. Now we need... Oh, do we need fish as well into there?
I wonder what tomorrow will bring.
Does that put it in my inventory? No. Okay. I'm just curious to see. Let's go ahead and add... Oh, gosh. Edward, you're blocking the door for everybody to be able to enjoy the tavern. Maybe I should have just left it more of an open concept. And then there's Alice fishing. Let's see if she has collected any fish as well. She has. All right. Let's grab a couple of those. Thank you, Alice. And now let's go over to our tavern and see if we can make this fish stew. Let people get out here and go ahead and craft some fish stew. All right, so it seems to be like one or the other here. All right, interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and just place the extra fish and mushrooms into the storehouse so we can start selling some more. Let's go ahead and put all that in there. That'll probably sell fairly quickly.
Not much happens around here, but that's part of the charm.
Not much, but it is enough.
So 6 out of 10 in our tavern. So hopefully we just have to wait a little bit more here and we'll be able to progress to the next tab here. But we should probably help us add a couple more things to be sold so we can greater increase our gold in our market storage here. So let's go ahead and we'll help out doing a little bit of fishing as well to, sell and make some gold. Oh, there's another guest satisfied. Alright, so that should be a couple more fish, and then let's go ahead and put that into the market storage. See, we just made 10 gold. Go ahead and put that there.
Hey, how's it going then?
You see all the kind of different variety of people entering our village here with different names, different outfits, and different looks. So we're getting close to being done with the satisfy.
My lord, young Fred seems
Hey,
agitated
All right.
again.
how's it going then?
Alright, what's up, Fred? Why are you mad this
My
time?
lord, I'm afraid I have some bad news. As I was out cutting wood, I heard some voices in the bush. I crept close and listened in. They were scouting the village. I'm afraid they are accomplices of the brigand who tried us before.
Worry not, young Fred. These untrained rogues are not our match.
Certainly none of them could best you, my lord, though I did count half a dozen.
That many could indeed be trouble. Edward, we'll need to find someone handy with a sword to join us.
My lord, you and I can hold against a handful of these louts, but half a dozen are too many. I must insist we...
We will not abandon these people to their fate, Edward. We must simply find some people with the skills to help us turn away these brigands.
So now we're going to get into...
This man Cedric served in the Iron Regiment, the famed mercenary band. He seems just the sort to help us with our problem, but I suppose we'll need a house for him now too, won't we?
So now we're going to be talking about
Hey, how's it going then?
making guards and having guard duties. So we're going to go ahead and
I
build
wonder
another
how the
house
crops are
for
faring this season.
Cedric. So let's see if we can
I wonder how the crops
gather
are
a little bit
faring.
of lumber here. I might use, since we're getting close to some of the other... Oh, no, there's a fair bit of lumber there. Good job, Fred. Hopefully it should be close to enough. So let me go ahead and just cut some couple of planks here. See if that's enough. So we'll go to
A
the
good day, is it?
housing. Where is my peasant home? We need 5 more planks. So we'll go ahead and craft 5 more and go ahead and create a new house for him. All right, and then let's place it somewhere around here. Kind of tucked right in to the village here. Clip our hammer and let's go ahead and start building it. So he's going to require a dining table in his house. Interesting request, but can certainly do that. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and build the foundation. Again, for those of you who are not in our Discord already, we do have a community Discord active. You can find a link to it down below on any of our websites. You can also go to noblelegacygame.com, where we have all of the links to all of our different social media pages there, including our Discord, where you can go ahead and join it, where we're posting new updates on the game from our various platforms, so you don't have to miss anything, any new news, and as well as our Steam page, which is now up and active for you to be able to wishlist it. So go ahead and wishlist it. It helps us out a lot, and you'll be the first to know when the game is out in early access to be able to play it as soon as possible. We've also been handing out a couple of keys over the past couple of days as well. So it's a good time there. So let's go ahead and finish this roof here, and then we might have to cut down another tree because I think we're gonna be running out of wood here. Certainly planks, yeah. So, and it's gonna, and we even have a bed built in here. So we need, yeah, we're gonna need a couple planks. Let's see if thieves have stolen some of my gold, bastards. All right, let's go ahead and cut down another tree here. We'll help out Fred just a little bit. He is one person after all. We're gonna cut down this tree, and this should probably be enough to finish our house for Cedric and convert these lumber into planks. Autosave. Fair bit from that one, so that should definitely be enough. Let's head over back to our lumberjack, or our woodcutter, excuse me, and let's go ahead and make some planks. We'll make about 30 planks. Probably 20 should be good enough. All right, head back over to our bed. Under furniture. Place it there. And then we also need to have a dining room table. So put, I don't know, here. Okay. Now we can recruit Cedric and assign him to his home. Now we need to go speak with them.
Hey, how's it going then?
Well met, my lord. I shall do my best to protect this small village.
Welcome, Cedric. We may have use for you sooner than we feared. There are some brigands threatening the town. We should head them off.
Lead the way, my lord.
So we need to go over to our villagers and we need to set Cedric to follow us into battle, which is under activity and under following. So now he should kind of just follow us. And now we have to go fight the raiders. He's got sword in hand, so let's go fight them. So this is going to be a more challenging fight. There should be a fair bit of them. Ooh. Ouch. Well, this is not a good fight for me so far. Take the swing, Edward. Oh, he parried me. Go fight him. Okay. Where are the other
That will
ones?
deal with the immediate problem, my lord. But we
guess
should
that's it.
also establish some more permanent solution. May I suggest you build a garrison so that I can more easily do my duties to protect this settlement?
Cedric, you kind of just stood away and watched the fight. It's good, something to take a look at there. All right. So now we need to place a new structure for the garrison. So, which I believe is on the defense tab. Yeah. So there's a weapons rack. So let's go ahead and let's make it kind of towards the front of town. So it's like if anybody tries to come in, they'll have to kind of pass through this area. So let's go ahead and build foundation here. Okay. And then let's build some stairs up to it. So this will be a new part that you haven't seen before. So let's go ahead over to defense, and we need 2 more planks. All right, we can certainly do that. Everybody's enjoying the tavern over there. Okay. Should be enough. So let's go ahead and place. I guess I don't really need Cedric to follow me anymore. Go ahead and relax. Alright, and now we'll go ahead and place the weapons rack on there. We need to finish the garrison, so let's go ahead and see what the rest of this building requires. It needs 2 weapon racks. Okay, so we have to build another one, which we need some more planks. What are you doing? Alright, that should be enough. Equip our trusty hammer, and let's go over to the garrison again. F, go over down to the defense tab, and let's build another weapon rack. Wow, these cost 100 gold each, that's quite a lot. And then let's build some structural pieces to keep this shelter from the rain. So let's just build some windows all around. And then let's do a door frame, and then just a simple thatched roof there. Should be good enough.
Even the birds seem content with the quiet.
I need 5 lumber each. Alright, let's see. Does Fred cut any more wood for us, hopefully? Maybe not. Then I might just use cheats to kind of speed this up because we are going past the hour here. Nope. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of cheats here. Oh, wow. We got so much wood fast. So let's go ahead and finish off this structure here just for time brevity's sake. Any more parts? How much more structural requirements are there? Oh, it needs a fair bit of structural and decoration. Okay, so we need to add a fair bit more. This adds 10, so maybe we'll just do... Oh, but I kind of built in a small area here. That might be... This might be a problem.
I wonder what tomorrow will bring.
What do we do here? Let's sure, that'll add a fair bit of that'll add a fair bit of score to our building here. How are we doing to that? Okay, we need more structural. Does this count as decorations? Oh, it's quality. Okay. We need more structure. That might be a challenge. Is there anything else I can add towards structure?
A fine day, plain and simple.
Throw quality. Quality. Ah, shoot. Oh, I don't want to tear this down. Shoot, I should have looked at the requirements earlier. This is an on me. Crap. I can't tear down these fences here. Oh, that sucks. Oh gosh. Oh, that is an awful sound. I'm going to mute that for you. Okay, well, I think this is kind of where we need to address a little bit of the bugs there. Wow, that is really loud. All right, so I think we'll kind of tentatively call it there. So do learn from me, and where you need to keep an eye out open for requirements earlier on than you think that you do. Otherwise, you might not be able to build where you think you want to, and then you are locked out of being able to do exactly what you want to do with the structure, between structural and decoration score for your building. But otherwise, I think that'll about do it here. So again, for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for checking it out. Be sure to support us again in our Discord and wish listing it on Steam. It helps us out tremendously, and we'll begin to show you a couple more of these as we move along. We hope that you're liking seeing the direction that's going with all of our polish and with just the amount of more things that you can do within there. So I think without further ado, I'm going to be signing off here. It's getting an end of day for me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.